Hi, I'm Angela Ryder, and I wanted to share with you my theory of the practical magic of practice. And basically, that's how you build your intuition through simple practices. When I first began exploring metaphysics and intuition and psychic development, I kind of believed that only some people could be psychic and that or that they're magically bestowed, because people often used, oh, they're so gifted, they have a psychic gift, they have a special knack, and it was like it was bestowed on them and no one else had access to that. And if they did, it was through special incantations, rituals, in order to access and receive these gifts. But what I discovered is that I've developed my abilities to use my psychic perceptions to guide myself and support others through the most powerful and accessible guidance, which is that interface with our higher self and spirit team. And that's something that you can do on a daily basis, 24/7. You can even put them to work while you're sleeping. And so that's why I always focus on work to support and help others develop their own intuition and create more self-agency, and not think that they have to always ask others to see what their psychic energy is or read into a situation, when you can develop that through some really easy steps every day. So the clarity and connection I have with my intuition didn't come from the elaborate how-to methods I've tried over the past 30 years. It came from the small, consistent practices that are simple and easy to do, because I like simple and easy. I like practical and accessible. And although it's really fun to connect with other beings and do remote viewing and do some other psychic exploration, there's nothing more powerful than being able to access your own intuition clearly. You know, our intuition isn't separate from us. It's baked in as our innate guidance system. And how we learn to navigate through it is through consistent practices, because that helps us tune in and better understand how we each interpret the guidance that we receive. And the key to practice is to practice. And I always tell everybody, as often as I can, use the hand on the heart and ask for support when you need it. That's your very first step. And then as you develop that connection with your intuitive channel and your higher self, start with expanding your perception to include the spirit team. Ask for spirit team members, specialists to help you with your business, help you get a parking spot, help you learn the next step that you need to take in order to move forward where you've been stuck. Ask for a sign, a symbol, a synchronicity, but be specific. Ask your spirit team for something that gives you a direction that you can choose to follow. And then there's one part that it's one thing to say, oh, I just saw that. But there's another part of actually taking a moment when you can to jot it down. Whether you take that in your notes application on your phone or a voice memo to yourself. I personally find handwriting it down to be more effective for me. But any time that you can take that information that you feel like is coming from your spirit team and your higher self, when you take that and you note it down, you will see over time patterns and ways that you receive intuition, the way that you connect the dots, the way that you are presented and notice. And that's going to help strengthen your channel. So that daily practice of placing your hand on the heart, asking for support when you need it, stepping up and asking specific team members to help you and ask for something specific, and then taking note of it and thinking about how to connect the dots, and then use that information to make choices and take action. Now, I believe a lot in spiritual authority, our self-authority. You don't have to take the intuition as a mandate, and I suggest that you don't. I suggest that you receive it and use your own discernment on whether or not you're ready and willing and able to take that information. Sometimes you have to let the information that comes inform you, and it's important for you to feel like this is your choice. They're not the boss of you. It's like I like to make my own choice about when I want to move forward on something. And I suggest that you look at this as these are your intuition and the guidance are responses to the request and intention that you sent to your higher self and spirit team. And in return, you take their response and you get to see them as invitations, and whether or not you would like to accept the invitation or allow yourself more time. Sometimes it takes me a while to say yes. Sometimes I want more signs, or sometimes I want more support, and it takes me a while to move through the conditioning that would keep me like in my invisibility cloak, and I need to stretch that capacity in order to take a step. And even though these practices are really simple, they are powerful because of their simplicity. All they require is your presence, your patience, and consistency. And, I find hand on heart first thing in the morning to help you and ask for something. Do it before you go to bed. Check in on a regular basis on how am I feeling? What do I sense? Is there anything that I am noticing? That's doable, accessible, and sustainable. And that's a habit and practice that will help you create a collaborative experience and relationship, and set up a clear channel for this connection so that you can feel like it's all part of you, because it is. Your higher self and your spirit team are just in that expanded energy field that's beyond the 3D perception. But you extend in a multidimensional way into that, and with your intention, you are accessing that expanded interface to connect in a way that is specific, so that you receive information that is for you and directed to you because you have asked. You become good at receiving guidance by practicing receiving guidance and then following it. And there are additional practices that you can do to expand on that. Not that it's a lot of ritual or extra things that you have to do in order to receive clearer guidance. But once you're really good at asking and looking and receiving and following through, you will notice your capacity and strength of the signals coming through are easier to detect. You don't have to like scrub a lens and do a whole big incantation to try to access your inner knowing. It will be a felt presence. It will be a strong knowing that feels confident and strong, and that you're supported. And it's not just you in there, it's your whole team presence that you feel within you, because they are part of your field. Okay, so trust what you receive is like the final note that I want to say is trust that what you receive. Not as, oh, you must follow this, but trust that there's something in whatever you received that is information. And that information will help you start being more discerning about what comes through, how you can use it, and what you need in the moment. And then you explore it. So trust that you're receiving guidance and that it can be used to inform your choices and your next steps. Okay, so thanks again for joining me and letting me share with you another perspective on how to strengthen your daily practice working with your spirit team and higher self in a collaborative way that isn't through dogma or learning how to do some kind of special ritual to access and receive that daily guidance. Thank you for being here. Take what resonates and adapt this practice to something that works for you. And I hope that you find that your intuition grows stronger and clearer through these simple practices and takes you where you want to go.